Hello garden legends. Today I want to show you how to plant a bare root shrub. For those of you that don't know, bare root simply means it's been grown in the field, it's been dug up with its roots intact, and in garden centers and nurseries it's being sold as a bare root plant. So they're much cheaper normally because they are not containerized. No love, no labor has gone into keeping them in a pot and looking after them in a pot. And so it's normally a single stem species with its roots. You're able to buy it as such and then plant it in the garden in this time of the year when it's a bit colder. The plants are, as I said, dormant, so they don't have any top growth showing. The roots, however, are still very much active and alive, so it's a great time of the year to get them in the ground, to get them established before the warmer months approach. The trickiest part of this whole process has actually been identifying the correct spot for this native hedge, which I'm about to plant, called Viburnum opulus. It grows about 4 meters in height and about 3 to 4 meters in width. And what I am doing here is just showing you the perimeter of my garden. Here and there are already shrubs and trees in place, so I can't really fill the gaps there. Behind the patio area, there isn't any soil in which to plant. And so it's been a bit tricky trying to identify the right site. Certainly for this morning, I am able to identify one area where I'll plant one of the bare roots, and it is in this little spot here. Now I have some autumn growing raspberries already there, so I'm going to have to dig those up and move them so that I have a nice gap for this plant. The reason I wanted to plant this specific plant against the fence is to cover it a bit and to hide it, especially this time of the year when a lot of the plants are bare. And so this plant should make a perfect hedging plant for this purpose. What I've done here is I bought 2 plants, and as you can see, good root system, really healthy looking roots. Not much happening at the top. If you asked me, if I hadn't known, I would have said the plant is dead. But you can quite clearly see the buds, and yeah, no damage, no visible sort of injuries to the plant. So I'm pretty much happy with the quality. And what I've done is I've left them in a bucket of water overnight, just so that the roots can rehydrate. This is a good tip because if you were to buy the plant from the garden center or nursery and plant it directly in the ground, it might have been stood in soil with its roots with no hydration for a good number of weeks. So it is just a good idea to get the roots hydrated, to get them sucking up the water, and to really give it its best potential to establish and to thrive once you've got it in the ground, and that will be the next step. I always find the process of having to remove one plant to make way for another rather tedious. In this instance, the autumn flowering raspberries, fruiting raspberries, haven't been here for very long, so I'm hoping they're not as well established as they could be. And if they are, with deep roots, you're certainly going to have a lot of fun watching me try and remove this plant simply to make way for another. Excuse me, I'm not about to plant you, am I? Come on, get a move on. Right, I've got a few problems here. I also have some mint, which I dug up or planted in pots and planted them here. And that's actually uh, perhaps another tip. Do that because mint tends to take over a bed. So let's see what we have here. This might not be as easy as I hoped. Oh, it's certainly established, all right. Well, there you are. I've managed to remove the raspberry. Definitely not as established as I thought. So hopefully when I replant this, it will grow quite significantly because it will be lovely to have a much bigger raspberry plant next year. Right, next thing to do is just to prepare the hole. A good idea for this type of shrub, because it does grow, like I said, a good few meters in width, is to just give it a bit of space away from the wall so that it doesn't grow too close to the boundary. And actually the boundary sometimes also causes a bit of a rain shadow, meaning if the plant is too close to it when it rains, because of the canopy the rain doesn't penetrate down, so it can form a bit of a dry spot here. So I'm going to just sort of give it about 30 centimeters to 45 centimeters gap. My swirl is pretty loose, which is lovely to work with. So I'm just going to dig a square hole. Have a look on my channel. One of my previous videos deals with planting an olive tree, and in this video I explain why a square hole is preferred to a round one. And so, yes, just prepare the hole a little bit. Because this is a fairly young shrub, I don't have to go through too much effort to get it in. That should be absolutely perfect. You might hear a bit of a sort of a hollow sound. When I built this raised bed in February this year, I put half of it in with dead wood, just so that I didn't have to invest in that much compost at the time. Over time, the idea is that the dead wood and the branches and organic matter will decompose and break down naturally, but it's not been that long, so you can hear there is quite a lot of it still there. However, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. A plant like this will find its way down, the roots will establish rather quickly, so I'm not too worried about that. There it is. I'm happy with that depth. I'll get it in, I'll keep it nice and straight, and I'll just backfill. And what I will do while holding it in place is I will just gently heel it in, and this just ensures good contact between soil and roots. If you have any mulch in the form of any form of organic matter, whether it's leaf mold or garden compost or horse manure, it would be a good idea to mulch, just so that there's a bit of a moisture and a organic matter layer, which allows the roots to just establish and the plant to be that much healthier. And there you have it. What I'll do now is give it a good water and let it establish and grow over the colder months. And if you would like, let me know, and I can do a follow-up video on how it's progressing when summer does come. And for those of you that haven't seen my videos before, please subscribe to my page, and please leave a comment if you've planted a bare root before, or if you've never done so, and let me know if you have any questions. Until the next time, bye bye.